Welcome back. As you can see, this next presentation will be very interesting. Our presenter is Kyle Hoffman. Kyle is from Muscatine High School in Muscatine and is the son of Heidi and Chris Hoffman. And his presentation is entitled Catapults for Kids in Classrooms. Welcome.
Hello? All right. My name is Kyle Hoffman, and this is Catapults for Kids in Classrooms. Herbert Hoover catapulted himself forward using engineering knowledge about how the world works. I'm helping elementary and middle school students do the same thing, catapult themselves forward using actual catapults to do it. More about this a little bit later after a quick project summary. So my goal was to excite students about STEM using hands-on activities and learning. I'll explain why a little bit later. But first, STEM. For some of you who might not be familiar with the term, it stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. So what I did is I raised $300, I pilot tested my ideas, and I found a 55% increase in excitement for STEM. I then requested and received a donation, pilot tested this donation and more ideas, and found an additional 16% increase in excitement for STEM. I then raised $11,000 so that each elementary and middle school could receive an educational kit for ongoing use. This would affect over 4,000 students from 15 different communities. Okay, so that's what happened. Now let me tell you how I did it. So, STEM, what's the problem? STEM is crucial for innovation in the United States, but businesses are struggling to find qualified STEM employees. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that there are too few students graduating with STEM backgrounds to fill the open positions in the marketplace. So during the next decade, the United States demand for scientists and engineers is going to increase at 4 times the rate of all other occupancies. The bottom line is that there are just not enough STEM employees, or STEM graduates. And Herbert Hoover said, "New discoveries in science will continue to create 1,000 new frontiers for those who would still adventure." We should have taken these words as a warning that we constantly need more and more STEM graduates to fill all of this potential. We must think like Herbert Hoover, not only in what he thought about the new frontiers, but what did he think about students or children. Herbert Hoover once said that children are our most valuable natural resource. Again, our most valuable natural resource. But how am I supposed to help the children when it comes to STEM? My story, my pathway to STEM, this next year I plan on attending Iowa State University to major in mechanical engineering, and I was thinking to myself, how did I get in this situation to go and become a STEM graduate? So I thought back to high school and the pre-engineering classes that I had taken, and I thought, no, it was before then that I got excited about STEM. And then I thought back to middle school and the class I took there, it was before then, and I thought back to elementary school, and I realized it wasn't really in school where I got excited about STEM. It was at home. My father would give me microwaves or printers, and he'd be like, "Here, take these apart." And I'd rip into them, and I just really wanted to figure out how they worked. I'd take them apart, look at all their parts, try and figure out what they do. So it was these hands-on experiences that I was able to have that really got me excited about STEM. So I realized I want to take these hands-on experiences that I got to experience at home and put them into the school system, and then maybe potentially get more STEM graduates. So my goal was to inspire students to engage themselves in these difficult STEM classes and be excited about it as well. So to do that, I would measure by using pre-event surveys, so before my presentations, and post-event surveys after my presentations. My prediction is that after students participate in these hands-on STEM activities, their post-event surveys would reveal an increase in excitement to take these STEM classes in middle school and high school. So great, I was going to do these hands-on experiences, but what was I going to do and how was I going to do it? So something that I was interested in at the time was catapults. So this right here is a 5-foot tall catapult, and it's got an 8-foot long throwing arm. So me and my dad and my brothers, we built this a while ago, and I was also interested in tabletop catapults. They're a little bit smaller, but they're still really fun. You can take them with you wherever you go. So having decided to use these catapults, I charged ahead, and I decided that I want to teach these students physics. Yes, physics. So I raised $300 so I could pilot test my ideas. So with this $300, I purchased these you-put-together catapults here. We have one set up right here that the children could put together. And I wanted to pilot test these catapults and a curriculum that I had created for the students to learn Newton's 3 laws of motion, a physics principle. So I went to the Flickinger Learning Center, which serves at-risk and underprivileged students at multiple locations and elementary schools. So I went in and I quickly gave them a quick presentation on Newton's 3 laws and gave my curriculum, but I really wanted to get them using their hands and doing this hands-on learning experience. So we quickly handed out the catapults and got the kids assembling and building and working together in groups. And this was really great. You can see they're having a bunch of fun. And these girls right here, they're getting their catapult put together, and they get it all set up, and they pull it back, and they launch it. And I really love this story. You can see the excitement on their face. They're having a bunch of fun. And actually, where these girls were sitting, it launched the ball all the way into the kitchen cafeteria from where they were sitting. So I love this photo. You can see how much fun and how enjoyable of a time they're having learning using these hands-on activities. This girl right here, she's ready to launch hers. And this kid right here, I really love this photo. He was having so much fun, he really wanted to post for us. So I asked the class, I was like, who else had fun? And I saw lots of hands go up. So all the kids had a really fun time. We went outside and used the big catapult too. We launched some water balloons. The kids really enjoyed that one. So Flickinger Learning Center sent me a thank you letter after I came and presented, and they said that my hands-on activities gave the students a great opportunity to learn and work together, and that it would be valuable throughout their school careers. So the thank you letter was really nice, but did it really work? Were the students now more excited to take these STEM classes in the future? Well, what does the data say? With my pre and post surveys, I asked the students the question, I'm excited to take these classes in middle school or high school, about all the classes that were offered at the middle school and high school, but mainly I wanted to focus on the STEM classes, the science, the engineering, the technology, the math classes. So I had three possible responses. No, I'm not excited. Maybe I am excited. And yes, I am excited. So our goal is to change these no's into maybes, these maybes into yeses, or hopefully, really, the no's all the way into yeses. So here you can see our results. We had a dramatic increase overall in excitement for these STEM classes. We had a 21% increase in non-STEM classes. So the kids were even getting excited to take more difficult or challenging classes that weren't even based around what the presentation was. So that was really awesome. And then we had a great 55% increase in the STEM classes. So that was really exciting. So the presentation was really working. It was getting the kids excited, learning about STEM by doing these STEM hands-on activities. So overall, a 34% increase in excitement. So after this, it worked so well, I raised $11,000 to put together these kits that I took to Flickinger so that every elementary school, middle school, and the Flickinger Learning Center, all their locations, could all have these kits that they could use at school to teach these students. So I ordered many more of these You Put Together catapults, and you can see all their parts and pieces here set out, and all their different rubber bands and the launching balls. And this is really where Catapults for Kids in Classrooms really became Catapults and Racetracks for Kids in Classrooms. So I was online trying to find all the pieces to put together my kits, and I used Racetrack in my presentation to do some of the physics principles and explain Newton's laws. And as I was looking for these pieces of Racetrack here online, I came across this company. They're based out of Pella, Iowa, and they're called Blue Track. So they had started doing what I was doing a little bit earlier than me, and they created this right here. You can see they created this track that you can run cars down on, and they created this EP series. It teaches engineering and physics. So not only did they create this track that you can use to learn, they created a curriculum that goes with it. This curriculum can teach kindergarten through 8th graders, and it comes with 35 lessons. So instead of the few lessons I put together about physics and Newton's laws, it comes with 35 different lessons, and they're all aligned with the science standards that elementary through middle school teachers have to teach at school anyway, these science standards that the teachers have to teach. So this product was perfect, so I really wanted to pilot test it. So I contacted Blue Track, and I requested and received a donation of some of their product here so that I could test it and pilot test it at one of the elementary schools. So I headed to one of the elementary schools in Muscatine, and again I brought along my curriculum first to give them some of the physics basics and STEM knowledge behind it. As you can see, the kids were really excited. I love to try and get the hands-on activities worked into the presentation so it wasn't just a lesson. But quickly we want to get them in to using the Blue Track and see how that works. So you can see the kids are picking out their cars, running down the track, having a great time. We also want to get the kids, within the curriculum, they had them write down their results, which is great because not only are we showing them what happens in STEM and what STEM is about with these demonstrations, but we're also showing them what happens in STEM careers. Many STEM careers you have to write down and record everything that you're doing all the time. So we were able to incorporate that. Blue Track was able to incorporate that into their curriculum as well. So this specific lesson that was taught through this Blue Track curriculum was about potential energy, and I really liked this lesson because, again, it was directly related to physics with potential energy and how high you had to place the car and what energy you would get out of that placement. So we were also able to use things other than cars on the blue track, which is awesome. We were able to use ball bearings and create almost a carnival game, as you can see here. We added a loop to this one, but you drop the ball down and it can run down through the loop, and then it launches and you try and land it in one of the cups. So this photo right here, I really love this one. The girl, she had put it right in the right spot, gotten just the right potential energy, and dropped it and landed right in the cup. So you can see she's having a great time. So the kids look like they were having fun, but did it really work? Were the STEM students, were the kids excited in taking these STEM classes in the future? So again, we'll look at the data. This time, I was lucky enough to be able to separate the data into boys and girls. So we have the results for non-STEM, STEM, and all classes again, and as you can see that it's working over all categories. So we had an 11% increase for all students in all classes, a 16% increase for the boys, and a 5% increase for the girls. So the pilot test worked so well, I decided that I wanted to get enough blue track to go on every single kit that was going out to the elementary and middle school. So I purchased more kits and boxes to go into these kits that are going out to every elementary school, middle school, and all the Flickinger Learning Center locations too. Then I started training the teachers. So I really wanted to train the teachers and teach them how I like to get the kids engaged and using the kits to get the kids learning using hands-on and using the catapults as well, so they knew how to put them together. I really found teaching the teachers really fun too, because they enjoyed using their hands and you can see them learning as well. This group coming up right here, they were sitting right where the girls were earlier in this presentation when they launched their ball. So when they launched their ball, it went all the way into the kitchen too. So that was really cool. I love this photo. Originally, my goal was to impact just the 3,500 students in Muscatine, but then I got excited and wanted to expand outside of Muscatine. So I approached the College for Kids summer program director and lobbied to have an additional robotics and programming classes, and luckily they agreed. This was awesome. So now I have an additional 700 kids per year that can get a hands-on learning experience from as many as 15 different surrounding communities. So every elementary school, middle school, and Flickinger Learning Center will be receiving a kit, and this will affect over 4,000 students from 15 different communities, and all this will continue year after year without me, because I've trained these teachers and they have dedicated STEM Fridays at the after-school learning program, and because of this College for Kids class that we have going on every single summer. So this will affect over 4,000 students from 15 different communities. So I just wanted to leave you with this. Children are our most valuable natural resource. Thank you. Who has the first question? And if you'd like to see one of the demonstrations, you could just ask.
While you are demonstrating, why don't you answer how you raised $11,000?
I did a lot of this through applying for grants and different donations through different corporations. I went to the H&I Corporation, and a great help was the Muscatine Community Foundation for Greater Muscatine, and we were able to actually put some of these logos on some of these catapults. You can see here, this GD that's on there is from the place that made the catapults. So they were originally able to let me be able to use these catapults, which is awesome. And up here, we were able to put the Muscatine Foundation on some of the catapults. So it was through these corporations and businesses and foundations that I was able to raise this money. There we go.
Anyone else with a question?
Just to follow up, what was the time frame it took for you to raise that money?
I did that over a while. I'm not entirely sure. It was a couple of months, really applying for grants and donations all around roughly the same time.
And then my last question would be, you gave us a number of students being affected, I forget, 1,000 or 4,000.
Above 4,000, yes.
Is that, you're saying that's every year, and if this goes forward, it will be 4,000 every year going, if it continues the way you started it?
Yes, it'll keep going every single year because of these, the teachers being taught and the College for Kids. So it'll be 700 students every year, and then the 4,000 students going through, or the 3,500 students that will be going through the Muscatine Community School District.
Got a question, one more?
How did you manage to bring all of the teachers together for the training? Was it on a in-service type day?
It was at the Flickinger Learning Center, so they kind of brought the teachers together and I came and presented to them. So it was awesome because the Flickinger Learning Center, they really loved my idea as well because they saw how well it was working, so they really wanted to keep it going as well. So they really took a hold of it too and worked with me really well to get this going on into the community and the school district as well.
I understand these are younger students, but during some of your presentations, did you have examples of what a STEM career could be?
Yes, I have this, not really, I was gonna say flow chart, but it is a concept map, and it has all these different, this is just specifically engineering, so I put this up in some of my presentations, so I'd ask the kids to raise their hand when they found something that they were interested in or excited in. So this is just specifically of engineering inside of STEM. So there could be one of these for every single of the letters in STEM, but you can see there's many different categories within just engineering, like construction or communication or any of these different careers.
More? Okay, thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.